After crossing the border into Manitoba, it didn't take long to enter the prairie landscape. We soon made it to Winnipeg and visited the Forks, a trendy marketplace at the meeting place of the Red and the Assiniboine River. Here, we purchased Saskatoon berries.
So Alice, what do you think of the Saskatoon berries?
Pretty good. It tastes like blueberries. Yeah.
We then visited the Royal Canadian Mint. It was a very interesting tour on how Canadian coins are produced. Unfortunately, they did not allow cameras inside, so we are unable to get any footage. So we hit the road and headed northwest. Where'd she go?
Pardon?
Can't see her.
Can't see her. Okay. We're here in Inglis, Manitoba, which is kind of the middle of nowhere, Manitoba. 2 hours kind of northwest of Winnipeg. We drove out of our way today to visit these elevators. I grew up on a grain elevator farm, and so this is kind of near and dear to my heart. We just took a tour and learned how these grain elevators were built in the 1920s, in the heyday of Inglis, when it was the barley capital of Canada. Learned how they, would drive the grain and transported it to the waiting railway cars in behind. This is now kind of a national heritage site. It's one of the last row of standing grain elevators, and so just kind of neat to see.
Good morning from Sippy Beach Resort and Campground. We arrived here last night after our grain elevator tour. Got settled in, cooked some dinner, had some sausages on the barbecue, and enjoying the morning here.
Thanks, Deb, for the mugs. They're being well used.
Last night we had a campfire. We enjoyed a new treat. It's called the Oreo s'more. It was delicious.
So we invite all of you to try it. As you can see from the video here, we really enjoyed it.
Also last night, the campground situated right beside a river. The girls got in, walked about.
We all got in last night, played around.
And Alice tried to get to the other side, and as you can see, she made it.
So we are off to Moose Jaw today, kind of a stopover on our way to Grasslands National Park in southern Saskatchewan.
All right.
Another big day of driving.
Cheers. The industrious beaver can be found all throughout Canada, but no better place to see one than on the Moose Jaw River. This beaver has very sharp teeth, which never stop growing. If cornered, it could have attacked and gnawed off our limbs. It is very responsible to keep your distance from this unpredictable rodent. For a more complete story about the Canadian beaver, why not contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa. We passed many grain elevators with rail cars waiting to take the grain to market come the fall harvest. We saw many abandoned homesteads of the past years. As we entered Grasslands National Park, we came across a colony of black-tailed prairie dogs. Alice could not get enough of these friendly creatures and wanted to take one home.
Okay. Here we are at Grasslands National Park on Friday evening. It is a lovely, hot, sunny evening with a wonderful breeze coming through. We're just having some a chicken dinner here. Great view of the park.
There's a whole bunch of prairie dogs.
Yes, we have to be careful where we step for prairie dog holes, but also for prairie dogs in general. They are amongst us. Any other thoughts or ideas there, guys?
How's dinner?
Very good. I like the cheesy goodness.
You got one over there, Alice?
Yeah, they're chasing each other.
And they're fun. I had one nibbling on my foot there while I was sitting at the picnic table. So they're around and they're fun.
As the evening continued, we walked up the ridge to take in the sunset.
It is currently Saturday, July 13th, and we are in Grasslands National Park, and we are doing a 4-kilometer hike, the Eagles Butte and the 70-mile Butte.
In grasslands, we have to be careful because there's lots of dangerous animals, like the rattlesnake and the black widow spider.
It's pretty incredible here. We've hiked up to the top of 70-mile Butte, and you can see as far as you can see. Kind of a whole lot of nothing, and yet it's still incredibly beautiful. Well, after driving for a couple of hours on the backcountry, we finally found the bison on our way to Cypress Hills. Not quite the wild herd that we were looking for. These are obviously farmed ones, but at least we saw some. They are quite large and a little bit scary looking. Glad we didn't find the wild ones.
While on the road, we received the sad news that Amber's brother had passed away after suffering from cancer. Flight arrangements were made as we traveled to Calgary. We boarded our flight, ready to spend some time with family.
While it was a tough week, it was a healing time, full of both tears and laughter, and a time to reconnect with family. The girls got their puppy fixes, and we are now back on the road, awaiting our next adventure as we travel Alberta.